Hi Tappers! Today's topic I'm very passionate about, so you have been warned, it's about to get animated around here. Do you know what the most prevalent factor is in death, disease, addiction, depression, and multi-generational genetic expression? I don't want to tell you. I don't want to say it because you already know. And as soon as I say it, our brains have a tendency to say, oh yeah, and then dismiss it. Dismiss the reason, the biggest factor in all of these categories, which by the way, we spend trillions of dollars on every year to try and avoid. This is not a new conversation. So obviously, what we need isn't more words for a solution. How can I or anyone else deeply impress the vast negative effects of stress? I'm going to go on a tangent for a second, but it loops back around, so walk with me. I like to know the point of things, especially the point of doing things. One thing I've struggled with is finding the point of meditation. Now, I know it's good for me. It helps me center and ground and other good factors to become more healthy. But why would I do that over, say, take a nice bath or go get a massage? It wasn't until Dawson's latest book, Bliss Brain, that I finally got that answer. The answer is meditation builds up the tenacity of happiness. Happiness. There's another word we tend to hear and easily dismiss despite the truly life-changing effect that it has. Why does happiness need tenacity? Because of stress. Let's very generally cover what happens in our bodies when we are experiencing happiness, joy, peace, love, etc. The form of communication between our thoughts and our bodies is chemical. We decide we are feeling a certain way and boom, instant, huge waves of chemicals are released from the body to support that emotion. It goes from an electrical decision to a visceral response in less than a second. When we feel good, our bodies are able to work on healing, anti-aging, pain relief, regeneration, creating a newer, better us. When we feel not good, our bodies send out signals that shut all of that down, and the only focus is on getting us to a safe place. Did you know that our own body chemicals that temporarily make us stronger and faster to get away from danger break down the body long term? So what happens if you never get safe? You are constantly breaking down the body. Let's create a metaphor for that. Constantly breaking down the body. Have you ever had someone do something constantly that you didn't want? Like, say, tapping your shoulder? Or someone saying, mommy, 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 mommy. Or a sibling saying, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. And how did you respond to that? We should all feel that irritated about this too. Now, here's the kicker. I'm going to throw a fancy term at you. Have you heard of DNA methylation? In short, it's a process that tells the DNA how to behave, but it doesn't change the genetic structure. So, the gene doesn't mutate, but it is programmed to respond a certain way. Studies have shown highly effective evidence of you receiving programmed DNA from 2 generations ago. In other words, you were born with your grandparents' stress and your parents. Then you go out and collect all of your own. This is not the legacy we want to share. The obvious uprise in disease and mental illness over the last few generations is alarming and has been blamed on dang near everything, and probably in part rightfully so. But what about this legacy? This legacy of stress that is snowballing from person to person, and how incredibly detrimental that enormous weight is. Let's get some of that $1 trillion attention on that. But there are catches. There's no Western medical cure for this ailment. It relies on self-care, awareness, proactive action, and changing habits to eradicate this multi-generational, ubiquitous destroyer we simply call stress. The structure of support of how to go about clearing this isn't, well, easy to see, and it's not well known, and can cause overcoming stress to be stressful, which is against the goal. We can't escape stress, but we can become less affected by it. We can train our bodies to hold on to that process of joy, even during stressful moments, and return to it faster when we get knocked off. Here's the good news. Our bodies change very quickly when the signals that they are given are different. We have millions of chemical messages happening every single minute. Even a small change has an impact. Our bodies are plastic. meaning they are agreeable to change and even expect it as we are built for it. How's that to hear? You are built for change. You are meant for it. And your DNA, it isn't doomed. It just needs to be given a different operating system to follow. So how do you do all of this? Clinical EFT. It has literally decades of valid research showing that this is exactly what it's capable of doing. I believe we all have the desire to do something that makes our lives matter, to have something better to leave behind. What could be better than this? I say this from a scientific standpoint. Make a huge impact with this action. My daughter is incredibly the same as me. It tickles me to no end, but I also ache knowing that she will likely have similar pitfalls, and that has propelled me to give her everything I can to fortify her tenacity so that her experience isn't only not mine, but that it's so much better than it would have been. I have seen CCEFT already make great strides in her life, and she's 5. And I mean make a difference because she does it, but also because I do it. And my joy directly affects her quality of life. Start here. Start with you. Keep it up. It's more impactful than you realize, and it affects more than just yourself. I'll see you soon.